Hola Unconventionals, I'm Amelia.
And I'm JP, and this is our quarantine report from Ecuador.
Before we dive in, if you're thinking of visiting or moving to Ecuador, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell please. You'll get notified on all of our upcoming videos.
Because we share what it's like to live in Ecuador.
Yes, we do. And right now it's winter in Ecuador. We were going to record a different video for today. However, it's been cloudy and rainy/drizzly for several days now.
Yeah, so we weren't able to get outside to film because Lumi doesn't like water.
But we've been taking really nice long walks on the beach and taking Daisy on her walks. It's still really comfortable here, so even though it's been a little cloudy, we're not complaining at all.
It's so warm still, so I'm still in shorts and a t-shirt, although I did see some people in winter coats today walking.
While we're in our tank tops.
Yeah, it's funny. It's all perspective, I guess.
Yes, it is.
All right, before we jump into the quarantine report, we wanted to give you an update on our fundraiser that we've been hosting since middle of April, to raise money to help feed people in this area of Ecuador as well as their pets. We have stopped collecting money for pets, and we're directing you directly to the Coastal Animal Rescue Ecuador website. They're a registered nonprofit, so your donation is fully tax deductible, and so you can continue donating through them. They're working on a really cool project to bring a full-time vet to Olón.
Yes, which we really could use.
Yeah, and we really need one. And they also need money to help fund that project. So please consider donating to them still. We've raised over $40,000 now.
I cannot believe it.
It's
I just can't
incredible.
believe it. You guys are amazing. You're so generous. Thank you so much.
Yes, but unfortunately we're out. I think we have about 700 left that we've raised since our last distribution. I'm going to share a video with you from Monika. She's leading the volunteer efforts in Montañita, and they've been working a lot in the comunas south of Montañita.
Here I'm meeting this lady. She was crying a minute ago. She tells me about her situation. That's how she lives, completely by herself. She does not even have a mattress. That's all she has in life. So she doesn't even have a mattress, and I just want to ask you to help me. I just want to ask you to attend this one case, okay? Yeah, because I happened to walk in and I saw it, out of eyes, out of heart, but I did see it, and we need to get her a mattress, seriously. I know I can count on you. $2, $5, $10, I will get her blankets and sheets, everything I can from the hostel. No llore, que le voy a ayudar. Yeah, okay, the lady's crying. I have to go now. ¿Cuántos años tiene, señora? Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está? 88. Cuídense mucho, señoras. Yo soy Monika Silva, de Montañita. Esta ayuda es gracias a las personas de Estados Unidos, de una fundación de Amelia y JP. Son de Olón. Estadounidenses que viven en Olón. Chao.
Chao, mami. Chao, diga, mami. Chao a las
Chao. Cuídense mucho. How you doing, guys? All good? You still have energy? Yes. Here we're very happy. We managed to help every single family. There are 130 families, and that's the amount of bags we brought with us. So we're really, really happy. Thank you, Amelia and JP, and to all your followers, big thank you for helping us help these people.
Things are starting to improve here in Olón, but the rural areas still need help. They've kind of fallen through the cracks, and as you can see from the video, there's a lot of people living with really nothing at all, especially the elderly. And it's amazing to me that there's towns not too far from here that have no running water and no electricity, and on top of that, they can't work. Because they're old.
Yeah, when we say old, we mean 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So a lot of people live really long in Ecuador, mainly because they've just been healthy and active their whole lives, and they live a long time. And most of their children have left to find better opportunities and education elsewhere, and they don't get the support that they need. So Monika is actually looking at starting a nonprofit specifically designed to help the elderly in this area, because even after the quarantine is over and before it started, they need a lot of help.
We really need to meet Miss Monika in person.
I know. Thank you so much, Monika, and all of your volunteers in Montañita for all of the hard work you guys have been doing. And if our viewers would like to continue donating so that the teams can continue feeding people in this area, we'll put a link right up there. It goes to our website. You can just click the button right at the top of the page to either donate to food to help feed people, or click over to the Coastal Animal Rescue of Ecuador website and donate to them.
Yes, we would truly appreciate it.
Yes. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And now we're going to talk about the quarantine.
Yes.
And there was a really nice article in the Wall Street Journal recently about how Guayaquil is the first major city with a major outbreak of COVID to officially beat the disease. And I think a lot could be learned from what they did in Guayaquil to really make such big improvements when they had been hit so hard.
Yeah, it was pretty dismal for a while. I was actually really pleasantly surprised to see this article because, of course, Guayaquil made international news about having unfortunately, the dead bodies laying in the streets, just a massive outbreak, and it was pretty scary.
Yeah, they were definitely unprepared to handle it, but they really ramped up the efforts quickly to educate people, especially in the poor areas, about hygiene and wearing a mask and social distancing, and they provided food to a lot of people, so they were able to get it under control really quickly there. So I'll put a link to that in the description so you can go check it out on Wall Street Journal.
They're almost in the green zone, so that's even once we're in the green zone, that doesn't mean the COVID restrictions are completely lifted. They're just lessened.
Yep.
And we'll get into a little bit more of that here.
Yeah, I think now we're ready. Now
perfect.
2 days ago, the National COE released their new quarantine guidelines that went into effect yesterday on July 1st, right? Today's the 2nd?
Today's the 2nd.
Wow. So we're going to go through the highlights of what those are so that you guys are aware. So people over 60 or anyone with a chronic health condition, especially diabetes and heart disease, are encouraged to stay at home as much as possible and avoid contact as much as possible.
Social distancing and wearing a mask is still required. I know there's definitely been some controversy and debate over whether people should be wearing masks, but it's not up for debate here in Ecuador because it is the law.
Yeah, and you'll get fined. So if you don't have one, you can get fined, and after the third fine, you can go to jail. And since we're not Ecuadorian citizens, we certainly don't want to risk upsetting the government and the law enforcement officials by not wearing one.
Yeah, and most people are really good about wearing masks. Seems like everybody's compliant, or
most people.
Yeah, and like we've mentioned in other videos, if we're out on the beach walking and there aren't a lot of people around, then we'll take our masks off. But when we're around town or around other people, we're very diligent.
Yeah, and we realize, we're not scientists and we're not experts on viruses.
Right.
So we acknowledge that we're not qualified to talk about whether a mask should be worn or not. So I'm going to put a few links to the real experts and scientists who have information about the importance of wearing a mask to help stop the spread.
Yeah.
I'll put those links to those in the description so you can kind of go educate yourself about the benefits. All right, land borders are still closed, meaning you can't come from Peru or Colombia,
see.
So, and they didn't mention anything about air travel in these recent updates, so we're assuming that hasn't changed. So if you are planning to fly here, you're still expected to do a 13-night, 14-day quarantine in a government-approved hotel in your arrival city, and that's for foreign travelers. Tourists.
Right.
Well, foreign travelers and tourists are kind of the same thing.
Well, you could be a foreign traveler. You could have a permanent visa.
No, that's not a foreign traveler, though.
Oh.
So if you are a resident, a permanent or temporary resident of Ecuador, or if you are a citizen, then you can quarantine at home. Otherwise, you have to quarantine in that government-approved hotel at your own expense. So be sure to factor that into your travel plans.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
We hope it will, because it's really killing tourism. The tourists aren't going to come here if they have to spend 14 days in a hotel.
Yeah, for most people, that's your vacation.
Yeah.
If you're from
or double your vacation if you're from the United States.
Yeah. That's tough.
Ecuador is still on the traffic light system of red, yellow, and green, and most of the country's in yellow right now, but the interprovincial buses are still not running, at least not here in Santa Elena, our province.
The local buses are running right now, though. They have to, they can only run at 50% capacity, and so we've heard it can be really tricky to actually catch a bus. We've only seen a couple, but it's not like we're out standing on the road looking for the buses all the time. Private transportation is running, and taxis have been no problem, so that's been nice.
Yeah, we've been taking a taxi into Montañita and back. It's still $1.50, but we've been giving the guy a 25-cent tip every time.
Yeah, and they're squeaky clean.
Yes, they are. They smell and look very clean.
Yes, and you have to wear your masks inside a taxi. So the bars are still closed. Discos are still closed. Any places where they cannot control social distancing, basically. Like, I think they said, like, indoor play areas are still closed. I did read that the indoor swimming pools are open, but I don't know what all the details are on that.
And restaurants are open and 50% capacity.
Yes.
And we've gone to a few restaurants.
We have, although we try to sit outside anyway.
Yeah.
We're still erring on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Luckily, here in Olón, most of them have outdoor seating. 60 beaches are scheduled to open July 22nd, and the government is going to use a pilot program to...
Yeesh, that was a big bug.
Oh my gosh, I don't...
It's got a flyby.
Holy cow.
Man, that's the thing about living in the Amazon or in the jungle area. You get big bugs.
Anyway, 60 beaches to open using this pilot program. So I read that the government is going to use their system that they have in place for 911 and for tsunami warnings, and earthquake warnings, and they're going to be monitoring your social distancing on the beach, and if people are too close, you're going to get the smackdown, basically, and they're going to yell at you to move, and they may employ the national police to evacuate the beach. So what I read was this is a good time for them to roll out the system and figure out how to implement safe social distancing on the beach during low season, because the beaches just are not crowded right now.
Yeah. And the beaches are kind of open now for individual activities like walking, running, swimming, and surfing. So they have not, the military and the police are still here in Olón, and they have not been enforcing that. And we were told that we are free to go use it for individual activities.
Right. We haven't heard about anybody getting their surfboard taken.
No.
That is no mas.
Yeah. So Olón right now is in yellow, which means that we have loosened restrictions, and we're definitely feeling a lot more of our freedoms back. And
Yes.
we are allowed to stay out till 11 p.m. at night now,
Woohoo!
which is nice. I mean, we don't even stay awake that late, but it's nice to be able to go down and watch the sunset, which we missed for almost 3 months.
Yep, and taking evening strolls around town. We like that a lot.
Yeah, even when it's cloudy, we've been walking on the beach a lot more. It's really
it's
nice.
so beautiful.
Yeah, and each color has its own guidelines as far as restrictions and transportation and things like that. And I will it's way too much to share in a video, so I'm going to put a link in the description. I shared a public post on our Patreon account with all of the specific guidelines translated into English, so you can go read through those if you're interested at what the different colors mean.
That's all we have for this video, Unconventionals. If you liked it, leave us a thumbs up, please.
And if you have any questions about the quarantine in Ecuador, please leave those in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them for you.
And we will see you all in our next video.
Ciao.
Ciao.